sure GA allows him to come in with the sledgehammer.
Boy, that's a play you just practice time and time again, and that's the result of the work put in.
Elbow shot. That one a little long. Milwaukee leading by 17. Here's Cooper. That's going to be over and back. Not watching for the line that time.
I tell you what, they got a nice reservation for him over on the bench. If he keeps this up, 4th turnover already.
And that was a great replay we just saw of our Mobile One block.
And they're determined to add to the lead, not with more offense, but with big-time D.
Giannis Antetokounmpo's checked in for Cooper. And here's Russell. Beasley outside. Minnesota making some changes. Noel's checked in, and Ricky Rubio's subbed in for Beasley. And then for Milwaukee, Portis, he's checked in for Lopez, and it's Cooper in for Drew Holiday.
And really, from second-round pick to all-star, Middleton's story inspirational. Yet even now, it feels like some people continue to sleep on him.
Outside Russell, and the slam dunk by Russell.
Some power coming from the PG.
Ah, that's right. GA seeing more and more of that these days. Backcourt guys who can elevate.
We know versatility is huge in this game. Just a tremendous job.
And one. Wow. Yes, sir.
Close call. I'm sure he thinks it's a clean block, but looks like it was on the way down.
Minnesota making some changes. Vanderbilt's checked in, and it's Beasley in for Ricky Rubio. Free throw good. Cooper.
He's got to get to the line a little bit more here in the second half. Let's see if he can get that edge back that he had in the first.
Floats one. And it's out of bounds. They say it was last touched by Towns.
That's a perfect example of why good hands are important in basketball. It just misread that pass completely.
And stolen by Russell. Over in the corner, Edwards. And it's off from three-point range. Milwaukee leading by 20. Giannis outside. And it is flushed down with a nice jam.
And I tell you, Antetokounmpo's evolved into one of the better passing forwards in our league. And when the defense is focused on you that much, you need to be able to find the open man.
There is an imagination, a creativity. This guy's passing drives the offense.
Inside, here's Antetokounmpo. Slammed home, and he draws the foul. A chance for another point at the free throw line. That one is on Towns.
Just simply overpowers the defense. Giannis flexing the muscles he's added to that near 7-foot frame.
You know, Doris, teams are using analytics more than ever before. We know that. For example, blocks are certainly a key number. But some defenders, as you know, are so good, teams don't even go at them because of those analytical numbers.
Kevin, we refer to that as shot suppression. And you have to look no further than the last two winners of the Defensive Player of the Year award, Giannis Antetokounmpo and Rudy Gobert. When those two guys are in the middle of the paint, a ball handler or would-be shot taker may reverse course and reset the offense. That's how much those guys impact the game on the defensive end.
And as we head to the final buzzer here, a crushing blowout, big-time dominance, and this will go in the record books as a gaudy win for the Bucks.
This was a team performing to its fullest capability.
A hugely satisfying win, a game that not many will soon forget, and on the other side, one that I think most will try to forget.
And now, for the year, this is going to take him to 7 wins.
And with the win approaching, they'll take the first game here of 2 that they'll play against this team. Nice to get that first one out of the way and set the tone.
And what a tremendous standout performance it was for Giannis.
Boy, I have loved this guy's energy all night. There was never a point in which he let up. The triple-double evidence of the kind of effort and skill he has.
Here's Beasley. Gets that one through the hole, making now 7 of 13 in this game.
You can appreciate the fight now, but it isn't how they came into the game.
No doubt. It felt like they were a little tight for much of the evening. Now they're in a better flow, but it may be too little too late.
Making every effort to put this game on ice.
Well, just terrific teamwork. Each guy doing his part. You love what you're seeing from them tonight.
Rubio finds Beasley, and he takes the feed in stride and slams it home.
Well, not exactly one of those big, burly power forwards, right? He depends on his leaping ability more than those guys, and it serves him just fine.
Here's Cooper. And contact on the shot, so he'll be shooting free throws here. And the first one at the line is good. And Cooper drops both of them. Beasley outside. Davis surveying the floor. And the basket by Rubio.
Well, that's the way it works. Good call, good finish inside by Rubio.
Here's Cooper. From deep. It's off. So no problem for Milwaukee as they get the win. A resounding victory for them. And Greg in enemy territory, no less.
That's exactly right. But with the way they controlled the game and just completely took the crowd out of it, that's how to get it done on the road.
And that'll do it, folks. For Greg Anthony, Doris Burke, and David Aldridge, this is Kevin Harlan. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time. Have a great evening.
Yeah. Hey. Racks on racks on racks. Yeah. How can I lax? Yeah. Sick and I move. Yeah. Made my own bars. Still I don't lack. Yeah. Racks on racks. Racks on racks on racks. Yeah. How can I lax? Yeah. Sick and I move. Yeah. Made my own bars. Still I don't lack. I need racks on racks on. Stay in the east, but I move through the west. King of the talk, got that with your chest. I've been around in the cloud and neglect. I made a sound that was mine for the get. How long I got, man, as long as I get. I'm from the side with a time never rest. Move through the side like it's mine unprotected. Do it for the side, I'ma rise and direct it, yeah. On me, trying to get my dough. Wrist on freeze, but the time not slow. They love to talk on the way I glow, yeah. Hustle on, that's all I know. Made it on mine, and that's all I know. Way too next to the top I go. I do what I want to. Yeah. I go out and I do what I want to. On the run through, I'ma need my funds too.
Man.
Do you have a ratings goal at the end of the season?
I feel like that I can get into maybe to the 80s this year, maybe 90s that year after that. But my goal is just to keep steadily building. I think last time I was at a 76. I think that's what I'm at. So get that to 80 and then bump it up and keep going from there.
And now that you're going to be in the game, are you going to play with your player?
Oh yeah, that's all they always. My boy Bernardo, that's all he talks about. Bro, you're about to be.
The Bucks coming into the arena confident they'll be walking out of here with a precious win on the road. The beaches of Santa Monica and Venice, not too far from our setting today, the Staples Center in Los Angeles. Greetings and best wishes for
One
a
day
happy
I'll
holiday season from
join
all of
the
us at
Clippers.
2K Sports
Right
as we
now,
get
I'm
set for
good.
this NBA presentation. Joined in the booth with Greg Anthony and Brent Barry, this is Kevin Harlan. Our sideline reporter, David Aldridge. Hey, Dave.
Good evening, Kevin. Well, last season, Paul George had a homecoming. He said, as a kid, I pictured playing in L.A. Parents being able to watch me at Staples. I'm not playing for the Clippers. This is home. I'm playing for the home team. It doesn't get any better than that. And Kevin, his family is backing him up. They show up to every game here.
What a story. David, thank you. Here are the starters for Milwaukee. Middleton and Giannis are the forward tandem. Holiday out there with Dante DiVincenzo. And it's Lopez in at the 5 spot. And for the Clippers, Kennard is out there with Rajon Rondo. Then it's Ibaka. Then it's Marcus Morris. And it's George in at the 3, the small forward. Greg, obviously, we're early on here. We already have seen some second-year players looking much more improved over their rookie year.
I mean, if you put in the work, you're not guessing as much. And listen, the fact that you now have gone through the season, you've got a better sense of who you are and what you can do out on the floor. I know I cut way back on my turnovers at the start of my second year, and you go into the offseason with specific goals and areas where you want to improve.
You think there's more growth between your first and second year than any other 2 years in your career?
You could make that case, no doubt about it, because you're still thinking you can be one of the all-time greats no matter who you are at that stage, and so you tend to put in a little more emphasis in terms of improvement.
And here's Middleton after Paul George getting his 3 to go.
Look how hard Middleton takes this one right into the paint, getting way too physical for the D to deal with.
The Bucks shooting their first free throws here for the night. First free throw is good.
Hear so much about this 3 and D in terms of the wings in the NBA. And Chris Middleton really embodies all of that. He can do some damage behind the arc and then is asked to guard the team's most potent offensive wing.
Middleton hits them both.
At this point, you might as well go ahead and chalk up the points when he's at the free throw line. Pretty much automatic.
George with the ball. He's picked up by Lopez. Yes, that goes in. George has got 5 points so far.
That's something I think Paul George in the offseason is really working on, just pulling up off the dribble, maintaining great balance. Very few flaws in his offensive game.
Now here's Middleton. His last outing, 16 points for him. Holiday with the 3, and he's good on the 3 ball.
And he's not going to miss that sort of an opportunity from deep.
Pass to Kennard. Now George. And then George with the jam.
Well, not only looking at Paul George get up, look at the guys on the bench loving it from PG.
Antetokounmpo kicks to Holiday. Pass to Middleton. Lopez outside. Here's Giannis. And the dunk by Giannis.
Making the most of the screen. That's how it's done.
And it's in the perfect spot, Greg. Frees him up to get all the way to the bucket.
Really not enough help there. Lack of communication on the backside.
And the Clippers have possession after the basket by Milwaukee. 6 to shoot. Here's George. That one, no good. And Milwaukee the other way now.
And as much as Holiday brings to your offense, it's his defense that's repeatedly recognized.
Well, when you make all NBA defensive teams and you're smart and strong and quick like Drew Holiday is, I think not only does the reputation start to build, but your confidence in disrupting somebody else by playing that way is something you rely on. And Marcus Morris has raised some eyebrows in the last couple of years, just being a much more efficient scorer.
And last season, Marcus Morris's name, one of the hottest on the trade market.
Yeah, there's a lot going on in Marcus Morris's offseason a year ago. A lot of contenders looking to add him to the roster. Handshake deal with the Spurs, switch to the Knicks, and then eventually traded to the Clippers. So grab your musical chair and try to find a seat.
And here's Holiday, who will bring it up for the Milwaukee Bucks. Now the pass to DiVincenzo. For three, Middleton, and again Milwaukee with the triple.
Look, they're not going to play a perfect game, but so far they are 5 of 5, and the D has to be concerned.
Rondo kicks to Morris. Kennard up top, defended by DiVincenzo. And again, it's the Clippers missing.
Well, that mid-range, Jay, usually pretty much on the money. Maybe the timing just a little bit off on that one.
From outside the arc, traps in the tray.
Yeah, the D with very little pressure on their perimeter shooters. 3 of the last 5 baskets they've allowed have been from beyond.
Now, here's George. What a tremendous game he played against Utah. Kick. That one. Great D that time from Giannis. Here's DiVincenzo. Finished off the break. DiVincenzo's got 5.
Assists like that have typified their effort today. Terrific ball movement.
George against Middleton, and he gets the bucket. Here's Giannis. What a tremendous game he played against Minnesota. Middleton outside with the floater, and it's sent back by George. Los Angeles on D. 8-point game. Pass to Antetokounmpo. Over Morris. And Giannis with the basket on the assist by Middleton. And that's now 6 points for Giannis. George looking around. Lays it up off the glass. He's got 11.
George is not settling for low percentage plays right now. He's putting the defense in a really tough position.
And Milwaukee calls their first time out of the game. They're coming off that win against Minnesota.
Mental toughness on the road. The arena was rocking, but they just got down to business and never let up.
Impressive to see them on the road just step up and have that kind of offensive performance.
Now here is Holiday. 14 points from him the last game against Minnesota.
And his scoring's going to get most of the attention, but his rebounding also stood out. He did a lot of glass cleaning in that game.
Here's George. Good D by Lopez. And here comes Holiday leading the fast break. Count the bucket, and he's got a free throw coming up as well. Jackson's checked in for the Clippers. Bobby Portis is checked in for Milwaukee. Cooper comes in for Drew Holiday. To the paint. The jump hook. Jackson misses.
I tell you what, the defense should send Christmas cards for that miss.
Jackson against Cooper. Ibaka with some nice D. Clippers trail by 13. Kennard on the wing. Defended by Middleton. Morris. That one misses. Some solid defense from Antetokounmpo. Over Jackson. Here's Middleton. They shoot again. Morris with the rebound.
is so good at getting to the rim. Maybe tries to get a little bit too cute with that one. I thought he laid it straight up and in.
And boy, he was really in a groove. Dominant performance last game. Same thing this time out.
Seems to be nobody standing in his way. No roadblocks for him to get to his spot, capitalize, and continue to be aggressive.
Displaying intensity right off the opening tip, especially on the offensive end.
Yeah, if you walked in at any point during this game to watch 5 minutes of play, one team played harder. We know who that was.
And good to see Jackson finish closer in. Not a guard who just chucks up threes. Can find the creases with that handle.
Here's Giannis, and the dunk by Giannis.
Really seizing the momentum of this game, but doing it with a methodical approach.
Well, how good have they been on the inside tonight, just getting down into the painted area and just dominating, controlling that spot.
Here is Ibaka after the basket by Milwaukee. Pass to Jackson. Just 5 to shoot. Rebound, Milwaukee.
That's the only kind of defense that's going to cut the mustard here tonight. You got to stay on top of a guy like that who can play at such a high level offensively.
And the slam dunk by Antetokounmpo.
Antetokounmpo with a great read there in the screen and roll. He knew exactly when to back off the pick.
Picked away. And Antetokounmpo slams it in.
Well, if you don't take care of the ball, fellas, that's what can happen.
Absolutely, Greg. That makes the turnover even more painful.
And the gamble paying off.
Now, here's Kennard. He definitely had a good game in their win against the Jazz. Here's Cooper. And the double up on Antetokounmpo. Count the basket. And the Bucks lead by 17.
And really keeping the ball hopping around here offensively.
And the Clippers decide to take their first time out here. You know, you grew up with aspirations of someday getting into politics. Any current players who you could see maybe taking that same route?
No doubt. There's several guys in today's game. Harrison Barnes has the polish, and I know he's had some thoughts at maybe going in that direction. Teammates nicknamed Malcolm Brogdon the president for his stately demeanor and commitment to affecting change. I absolutely see him trying to have an impact socially moving forward. There's several guys, again, who not only have the voice, but the courage to speak out about things that matter most to them.
Many sharp guys in the NBA. And Brent, many players said shooting in the bubble was easier. What's your take on that?
Well, I appreciate you asking me the question, Kevin. I thought about that a lot as I was watching the playoffs last season, and I thought two things. One, familiar sight lines. You're going to the same gym to see the same rims over and over and over, and then maybe the extenuating circumstances of no crowd. So feeling like you're in an empty gym, one that you practice in, maybe that leads to more confidence. And we saw the numbers go up for a lot of guys, and we saw the scoring also go up. So maybe those two factors contributed to that.
And on the glass so far, it hadn't even been close.
And so Beverly will bring it up for the Los Angeles Clippers. They trail by 18 to the inside. And that one is good from Zubac.
I just feel like Patrick Beverly has incredible awareness for every second that he plays on the floor. Spots the wide open man, gets it to him.
Here's Cooper. He had a big outing in that Timberwolves game as well. And Forbes has it in the corner. Wants to get it to Antetokounmpo and does.
Well, that's a nice toss up there, so you got to like the timing. But of course, that's Giannis. He's going to grab anything.
1:58 left here in the first quarter. Outside, George. He kicks it to Beverly. They double him with Giannis. Here's Jackson. Falls through. He's now made 2 of 4.
And guys, they continue to put a lot of pressure on the interior defenders with their work down low.
Cooper against Beverly. 1:25 left to play in the first. Right side, Portis. 5 on the clock. Bucks passing it around. And they turn over the 24-second buzzer, signaling the shot clock violation. P.J. Tucker, he's checked in for Milwaukee. Here's Kennard in the hoop for his third make from the field. He's 3 for 4 thus far in the contest.
Now that's a high percentage look when the D doesn't fight over the screen.
Yeah, the coach over there just asking for one simple thing, and that's some effort. Got burned on that one.
Setting the floor for the Bucks. Giannis is the 4 with Lopez the 5. Dante DiVincenzo, he's out there with Cooper. And it's Middleton in at the small forward.
Moving it around, 8 of their last 10 coming off assists.
Let's go now to the sideline and catch up with David Aldridge.
Hey, Kevin, we know that for years the NBA has thought about a postseason play-in tournament to get more teams and fans involved. Last year's pandemic stoppage basically necessitated its implementation. For the NBA, the disruption of business as usual enabled innovation and risk-taking. I don't want to be too hoity-toity, but it was Albert Einstein who once said, "In the midst of every crisis lies great opportunity." Guys, back to you.
You're right. Thank you, David. Here's Kennard. Giannis Antetokounmpo making his last shot. Kennard.
That's all. Good defense.
This defense gets a lot scarier when Lopez is blocking shots.
Yeah.
Middleton outside. Shot clock at 6. Milwaukee needs to get off a shot here. Hits it from three-point range.
Let's go.
DiVincenzo's got a couple of three-pointers in the second for the Bucks.
An era where we're seeing teams turn away from the slower 7-footers. Brook Lopez still playing a pivotal role for the Bucks.
There's been a lot of talk in recent years, Greg, as how the big man has been played off the floor in the playoffs. That's just not the case with Lopez, because he's been able to step out and shoot threes, along with being a really reliable rim protector.
And here is Los Angeles now after the basket by Milwaukee.
Well, they've been better than good on the glass today, and there is a glaring discrepancy between these two teams in that area.
Here's Cooper. And Cousins comes over to help. There's the lob. Antetokounmpo, an emphatic alley-oop jam.
I mean, just look at the box score right now. He's not only filling it up with these points, but in every facet of the game.
Los Angeles has gone 2 for 5 from three-point land since the end of the first. Here's Rondo. Well-timed pass, and he goes straight to the bucket for the layup. Rondo's got 10 points in the game.
And really, the scoring this quarter has been just off the charts, doing all he can to bring them back.
And stolen by Cousins. Jumps up, and Cousins throws it down.
Cousins continuing to improve on his defensive awareness and staying active after he clawed away that steal.
Milwaukee leading by 20. Here's Cooper. Here's Lopez. You know, Greg, when you were in New York, you were on a super team of sorts. Compare that to the super teams they're forming now in the NBA.
We've always had super teams. And this misnomer that this is something that's just come about with this era is, to me, absurd. You've always had it. Whether the difference nowadays is I think the players have more say in where they go. And they can orchestrate how a team is constructed. But it's always existed. And the reality is this. You become a super team when you win a lot.
Sure.
And that's what really dictates how super your team is.
And the Clippers call time here. They put up a nice win against Utah last time out.
I like their aggressiveness in that one. No one's going to give you anything. You've got to go out and take it.
Yeah, and going back and watching that game, there was not one spot on the floor that they did not own.
Yeah.
LA's gone 3 of 6 tonight. And they've let it fly from down.
You on broadcast?
Huh?
You broadcast?
Yeah.
Let me use it real quick. All right.
Rondo finds Kennard.
Maybe he's thinking at this point, man, somebody's got to help me. I can't do this all by myself.
Bucks leading by 22. Here's Cooper. And the dunk by Giannis.
Sometimes it takes a while for all that length in Giannis to catch up to those feet, but once he does, man, he can explode.
Passes it to Ibaka. Trying to find Jackson. He's got it now. And they pick up 2. Jackson's got 10 points in the game.
This can make it so much easier for your teammate when you throw that lead pass that gets to him right on the money, whether that's on the run or in the shooting pocket.
Rondo against Cooper. And Antetokounmpo slams it in.
I love the unselfishness, and you know coaches do as well.
Well, not just coach, but you can see it in the teammates, the way that they look at him. They appreciate it when he shares the ball like that.
And he gets the whistle. 2 free throws coming up.
No wasted trips at all. They're taking care of business at the line.
The Bucks have gone 9 of 10 from the line, so making the most of their chances. Nicholas Batum. He's checked in for Rajon Rondo. And Milwaukee also making a switch. Portis is checked in. LA's gone 2 for 5 from three-point land since the end of the first. DiVincenzo against Kennard. And again, the Clippers turn it over.
Yeah, the body language right now is not looking good for this basketball team. The game might be out of reach, but they have. To avoid mistakes like that.
To the middle. Giannis passes to Portis. Here's Cooper. 50 seconds left to play here in the second quarter. Batum brings the double team. Just 3 to shoot. And Antetokounmpo gets it to go.
Oh, this is where Giannis does all of his damage. He gets inside the paint, has the size to work you back, and then stretch out and score.
Jackson drives in, and there it is for him.
That's just tremendous scoring instinct. So fun to watch him work in the half court.
Milwaukee in total control. We've got 28 seconds left here in the second, and Portis throws it down.
What elevation. He's a smaller but still determined big man, and he likes mixing it up with his impressive vert.
Jackson up top, defended by Portis. Jackson kicks to Kennard. Outside, Batum. It's Kennard, top of the key. Batum, good. Batum's got his first bucket of the night.
Their plan working to perfection there, if that was their plan. And if it wasn't, then that should be their plan.
And so it's Milwaukee holding a very comfortable 25-point lead as the quarter comes to a close. From the field, but